Greetings everyone, Cameron McCasland here, coming at you with another top 5 movie picks. Some time ago someone asked me if I would do 5 Western movies that I really enjoyed. Westerns are by far my favorite genre of cinema. I love Westerns. I watch Westerns frequently. I've just basically anything I can get. They don't make a lot of great Westerns anymore. Every couple of years someone will make a really good one, but you don't see them in droves like you used to. So if you don't watch Westerns, I would challenge you, check out a couple of these, tell me what your thoughts are on them. If you do like Westerns and you've seen a whole ton of them, leave me some suggestions because I would love to hear what you guys are watching. The first thing I picked, I almost hated to pick because I know almost everyone's seen it, but it's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is probably my favorite movie. When people ask me, Cameron, what's your favorite movie? I always say either King Kong, the original, or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is the most parodied Western of all time, probably even one of the most parodied films of all time. Of course, Clint Eastwood, this kind of, he had done some stuff. This is actually the third part in a kind of a loose trilogy, but just some really good stuff. I won't jump into a whole lot of it because I assume a whole lot of you have already seen it, but if you haven't seen it, run out and grab this movie. Anytime this is on television, I can't help but stop and watch it all the way front to back. I love this movie. The next thing I picked was The Ox-Bow Incident, which is a movie from 1942, directed by William Wellman. This has got Henry Fonda in it. The movie basically is about justice gone awry in the sense that someone is accused of a crime that they didn't commit, and in turn, a lot of bad things happen. It was timely then as it's timely now. It's just a good story. William Wellman, of course, was a lot more famous for movies like The Public Enemy with James Cagney. He did A Star Is Born. A whole lot of other great stuff. He was kind of, one of the guys who came up through silent films and, kind of kept moving right along and worked for years and years, even after this movie was made. This movie's cheap to find now. Check it out. It's fairly short. I think it's only like 80 minutes long or something like that. If you don't watch a whole lot of classic movies, this is a good way to jump in. I know a lot of people hate old black and white movies, but I would say if you just give it a chance, you'll probably enjoy this and look for other stuff. And again, I can make a ton of suggestions all day long on just Henry Fonda. He made a lot of great westerns. The next thing I picked was Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, which is a Sam Peckinpah movie that stars Kristofferson and James Coburn. This movie's kind of got a real storied history to it in the sense that it was made and recut and recut and recut again. Peckinpah basically did a cut back whenever it first came out. The studio hated it, so they recut his movie. In 1988, Turner Classic Movies tried to put together a restructured cut that was more close to what Peckinpah's vision was. But in the years since that happened, they found a lot more notes and different things like that. So in 2005, when this DVD came out, they restructured it yet again. This is probably the closest thing to what he was trying to accomplish with this movie. Pat Garrett, Billy the Kid, of course, is a classic Western tale that most people have already known. This movie, this wasn't the first tale of this, and it wasn't the last. They make it every couple of years. Someone tells the Billy the Kid story. But this is basically the story of their friendship and how whenever Pat Garrett got on the right side of the law, he was able to hunt him because he was his friend. Bob Dylan also shows up in this movie playing Alias, which is like Kris Kristofferson's right-hand man. The song Knocking on Heaven's Door, which a lot of people don't know was a Bob Dylan song, he actually wrote that for this movie. And of course Guns N' Roses turned it into something totally different years and years later, made into a hit yet again. And speaking of hits, if you guys follow bluegrass music at all, or you know who Old Crow Medicine Show is, their song Wagon Wheel actually was a Bob Dylan song that he was writing for this movie that never got finished. They ended up finishing it just a couple years ago and made another big hit out of this. So check this out. There's a Sam Peckinpah box set that has this, The Wild Bunch, and a couple other movies that are also good. You can really grab that for about the same price. Sam Peckinpah is one of those things that I think a lot of people either love him or they hate him. He was a real tortured soul, had a whole lot of drug addictions, things like that. I always put Peckinpah in the sense of it's like religion. You're either going to agree with the way he did things or not agree with it. As far as filmmaking goes, I do believe like Peckinpah is my religion. I believe in what that guy was doing as far as doing it the way he wanted to do it and making it happen. I think he's a genius filmmaker. I think every movie that he made, even the ones that are flawed, have shades of genius in it. So check out Sam Peckinpah. Like I said, I could do a whole video on just Peckinpah, but Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid is a good way to start if you've never seen any of it. The next movie that I picked out is The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, which is a movie that came out about 5 years ago now. This isn't a Western in the sense of it takes place in the 1800s. This is more modern. Definitely a Western in tone and structure. You know, they ride horses, wear cowboy hats, so that's all still there, but it is modern day. Basically, Barry Pepper plays a border guard who shoots a person who he thinks is crossing the border illegally. He's a friend of Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones had promised this person that he would bury him in Mexico when or if he died. To keep that promise, basically, he kidnaps Barry Pepper, makes him dig up the body, and they carry it across, you know, the barren wasteland that is, you know, South Texas, into Mexico. Crazy, crazy revenge movie. There's a whole lot of weird stuff. Whenever it gets to the second half, it kind of does really turn into this like Don Quixote type of movie where you just don't know, you just can't believe everything that they're seeing anymore, because Tommy Lee Jones just gets in. He's just so sure of the way he's going to do things. Why this wasn't Oscar bait a couple years ago, I don't know. I think Barry Pepper is great in this movie. Tommy Lee Jones, they're really, I can't think of too many things that he's in that are better than this movie. Just really, really good story. So if you haven't checked this out, it's easy to find now. Check this movie out. The last movie I picked is Django with Franco Nero. This is a Sergio Corbucci movie who did a lot of great westerns over in Italy back in the 60s and the early 70s. Django, of course, got remade a couple years ago with Sukiyaki Western Django. If you guys have seen that, it's a remake of this movie right here. Crazy, crazy imagery in this. You have a guy who's carried, like basically dragging a coffin around with a giant machine gun. The title track on this is killer. It'll get stuck in your head for years and years to come. Just a lot of good stuff. Just real quirky, super violent at points. If you have never seen this movie, you really, really should seek it out. Django is just killer. So anyways, that's 5 movies that I picked, you know, for just, again, not even always my favorite westerns, but 5 things that I think you will enjoy and are worth checking out. If you've got any suggestions for me, please leave me comments, leave me a video response. Let me know what you think about these movies, if you love them, if you hate them. If you got any, you know, specific thoughts on the people who made those movies, I'd love to hear about it. Thank you all for being so supportive and just checking out this video. I hope that for those of you who enjoy westerns, I hope that you were able to pull something out of this. For those of you who never watch westerns, I hope you will take the chance to sit down and watch a couple of these and hopefully find a new love of cinema through it. Again, I think the westerns are some of the greatest cinema that have been made in the last 100 years. And they don't make them like they used to. So, you know, hopefully if any good ones come out, I'll hear about them. Anyways, thanks so much, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.